Imagine being able to finish a book every month without sacrificing hours of your time or feeling overwhelmed. That's exactly what I set out to explore with a simple habit, reading just 10 pages a day. At first, I was skeptical. Could such a small commitment really make a difference? Life is busy, after all, school, work, distractions, and endless to-do lists. But I realized I was spending far more time scrolling on my phone or watching videos than I'd like to admit. So I asked myself, what if I replaced just 15 minutes of that time with reading? The idea wasn't to become a speed reader or tackle massive book lists, but to create a sustainable habit that fit into my life. Over the next 30 days, I committed to reading 10 pages every single day. No exceptions. By the end of this journey, I wasn't just finishing books. I was gaining insights, improving my focus, and discovering how small, consistent actions can lead to significant results. Here's what happened. You might wonder why 10 page is small enough to be manageable yet significant enough to build momentum. On average, reading 10 pages takes just 15-20 minutes. That's less time than most people spend checking their social media or watching a single YouTube video. The beauty of this habit is its simplicity. It doesn't feel overwhelming. Let's break it down. 10 pages a day adds up to 300 pages a month. That's roughly one book for most genres. Over a year, you could finish at least 12 books without feeling like you made a major time commitment. Compare that to the average person who struggles to finish even 3 or 4 books annually. By starting small, you are building a habit that can easily grow over time. For me, the appeal was in the consistency. I didn't need to carve out large blocks of time or feel guilty for missing a day of heavy reading. Instead, I could focus on enjoying the process and letting the habit integrate into my routine naturally. To make this challenge work, I set a few simple rules for myself. First, I decided to read at the same time every day, usually in the evening before bed. Having a set time made it easier to stick to the habit, and it's also helped me wind down and relax. If I had a busy evening, I'd shift my reading to earlier in the day, like during breakfast or a short break. Next, I choose a variety of books to keep things interesting. I started with a mix of self-help, fiction, and biographies which kept me motivated. If a book wasn't engaging, I allowed myself to switch to something else. After all, the goal was consistency, not perfection. I also tracked my progress. I kept a notebook where I wrote down the titles of books I read and my thoughts about them. This small act of reflection made the experience more rewarding. It also helped me stay accountable. Seeing the list of completed books grow was incredibly motivating. This simple habit taught me more than I expected. First, it helped me build discipline. Sticking to 10 pages a day, even on busy or unmotivated days, reinforced the power of consistency. Once the habit was established, it felt effortless and I found myself looking forward to my daily reading time. Reading also became a form of mindfulness in a world full of distractions. Those 15-20 minutes gave me a chance to slow down and focus on one thing. This mental clarity carried over into other areas of my life, improving my ability to concentrate on tasks and be present in the moment. Of course, the knowledge I gained was a huge benefit. From self-help books, I picked up practical advice that I could apply to my daily life. From fiction, I found inspiration and a renewed sense of creativity. The variety of books I chose kept me engaged and broadened my perspective. Perhaps the most surprising benefit was how this habit inspired other positive changes. By committing to one small but meaningful action every day, I began to see the potential in other small habits like journaling, exercising, or learning new skills. No challenge is without its obstacles, and this one was no exception. There were days when I was too tired or busy to feel like reading. On those days, the 10-page rule was a lifesaver. It was such a small commitment that it felt double, even when I wasn't in the mood. I also faced the challenge of finding the right books. Some were slower or less engaging, which made it harder to stay consistent. Over time, I learned to switch to something else rather than forcing myself to finish a book I didn't enjoy. Another challenge was managing distractions. It's easy to pick up your phone instead of a book, especially when you are tired. You to combat this, I set my phone aside during my reading time and focused entirely on the book. These small adjustments made a big difference. At the end of the 13th day, I was amazed at the results. I had developed a habit that felt sustainable and rewarding. This small commitment transformed the way I viewed my time and showed me that even the busy schedule has room for personal growth. The knowledge I gained from the books I read enriched my life in ways I didn't expect. I felt more informed, inspired, and motivated. The discipline I built from reading every day spilled over into other areas, helping me stay consistent with other habits and goals.